This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Another season of high school football here on UTV 44. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan. We get ready to bring you the season opener tonight from Theodore and Saraland. And is it 21 years? Or 22?
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah, 21 years. It's been a blast. And every season has its own anticipation, and you try to get to the storylines, but it all comes down to a bunch of kids on a Friday night trying to see who's going to win the game. And we've got a couple of teams who are really good. One finished second in their region a year ago, and Saraland and Theodore won the 7A1 region last year.
Yeah, Saraland, of course, lost in the semifinals to Spanish Fort, who went up to state, and it's just such great talent down here. And this season looks like we're going to have the exact kind of boilerplate that we've had for a long time of the great teams that come and battle each other each and every Friday night. And the first week, we're excited, but like the coaches don't exactly know what we're going to see out there tonight.
Well, probably not, because we're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-olds. I can tell you this, too. In a way you do, because Coach Collier is going to run the football, and you're going to see why in a little bit, because he brought his running back with him, and it's pretty evident, give him the ball. Also, Jeff Kelly's got a very young team. They're skilled. He likes this team a lot, but at the same time, a lot of guys that are going to see their first live action on Friday night will be this week.
All right, so as we get ready for the season, we also, every week we're here, AOC, we should say that's where we're at here. We're up in the PT third floor area, and Dr. Cesar Roca with us, our old friend who we have on with us every year. So at this time of the year, I know prevention of injuries is a big part of things, but a lot of that hay is probably already in the barn as far as training, getting ready to this point. But what do the players and coaches need to be thinking about to try to remain injury-free and maybe even dealing with some temperature issues we're going to have tonight?
That's a very good point. I mean, I've been in practice for 30 years, and I can tell you, unfortunately, the first 2-3 weeks of the season, we see that's when most of our injuries occur. And we're very fortunate that we had a lot of our coaches and our trainers are aware of this, and with their great cooperation, we have prevented a lot of injuries. We have instituted a lot of programs, particularly with flexibility, proper technique, warming up, et cetera. And I remember many years ago, I instituted a program of flexibility and plyometrics, et cetera, and we reduced ACL injuries by 50%. So it can be amazing. But I mean, the fact that players and the coaches and the trainers are aware of this increase in injury period, the best thing that our children can do and our trainers and coaches can do is emphasize flexibility is very important, to stay in shape, et cetera. And you just like they always say, you train like you play, right? So it's just amazing how just a little bit of flexibility and staying on top of your good technique can prevent so much. And also hydration. I mean, the heat is terrible, so we don't want to have all those cramping and all, it can be just devastating. And of course, we have COVID that we have to worry about, but I mean, we tend to forget that we still have to worry about the regular stuff.
And I think like everything else, I mean, coaches are different today, the way they work the kids in practice, whether it's for hydration or the physical part of football. You still have to have that. But I think just as a whole, football is way different. You said you've been doing this for 30 years. We look at it way different in getting ready for the games than we used to.
I mean, I used to get parents and coaches angry at me because I wouldn't put them back in the game. But I think now coaches are very parental, if you will, because they understand that it's about the children. It's about making sure that these kids we're all in this together, but it's not just about winning. It's about having these children be in good shape and sportsmanship, et cetera. It's for the long run.
Dr. Roca, how far advanced are teams equipped? Well, they're team physicians, doctors, trainers. How far advanced are they as opposed to where they were when you started out?
Well, it's been an evolving process, partly because the understanding of physiology has advanced a lot more. So it wasn't like we were in the dark ages back 30 years ago, but I think there's been more understanding of, again, hydration, flexibility, strength. Dr. Andrews talked a lot about prevention of little league elbow injuries. That has been the emphasis on the the concentration on prevention of injuries has increased tremendously in the past 20 years.
Well, thank you for what you've done, and thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, and it's like
pleasure.
obviously right out of the news. You hear things about the best that we know right now. Well, that's always science. Like 30 years ago, that was the best they knew.
It continues
at that moment, and now it's what we know right now. So thank you. We'll see you later on in the season as well. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll have Jeff Kelly, head coach of the Saraland Spartans, join us. Talk a little wide receiver action with the Spartan as well. And we'll come back here. It's going to be our first week of the high school football season. Saraland and Theodore tonight. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan. We're here at AOC as we get ready for the season opener right here on UTV 44. So kind of like the first quarter, like we might have had a little jitters there in the opening. Like I don't think I was great, but kind of got through it. Now we're ready to get a few hits and we feel better now, right?
Probably a lot of people changed the channel.
They probably noticed. They're like, geez, these guys did nothing in the offseason. They did nothing in the offseason.
But we're back, and we're here to please you, and we're here to make sure that you're set for the game tonight.
We are excited. Saraland and Theodore, our opening game here on UTV 44. Head coach Jeff Kelly of the Saraland Spartans and Jarrell Williams, wide receiver here of the Spartans, with us as well. And Coach, great year last year. Go to the semifinals, and I know every year is a new year, but certainly again another building block in place at Saraland after the great year last year.
It's time flies. This is, I think, going on my 10th or 11th year at Saraland. We've got a great thing going on, great support with administration. Our kids show up every day with great attitudes, ready to work. It was a good year last year. We had some big games and had an outstanding season. Didn't finish that last game like we would like, but I think that gave a lot of fire, a lot of motivation going into the off season, and we've had an outstanding off season through the fall, through the summer, through the spring training, that kind of stuff, and our kids have showed up ready to work and excited to kick this thing off this year.
When I think of Saraland football, we were talking about this the other day, Coach. You think about a couple of things. Certainly, you've got skill players and cornerbacks, wide receivers, people that can go and get it, and people that can defend on the outside. And also at Saraland, you just have some dudes that you don't want to mess with in the parking lot or on the football field.
Kind of in the middle of the field, a lot of them too, right?
But they bring it. They bring exactly what you want.
As a coach, I don't know what more you can ask for.
And that's not something like you can just, not to interrupt you, but like it's just like organically been a part of Saraland.
I can't explain it.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that. I think tradition is a part of it, and new kids as they come into the program and they get their chance to kind of be out front and be leaders of the program. They've seen how other folks have done it, other teams have done it, and they want to work like crazy to not let them down. I think that's been a part of it. We've been able to sustain some things, and especially the last 3 years, we've been able to play at a really high level throughout. But every year is different. This is a new year. Every year is a new challenge. We talked to our team, we've got 10 games on the schedule, and it's like 10 one-game seasons, and so we got to approach it that way each and every week, each and every day, go out and get better. I like this team. We've got a good mix. We've got, I know a lot of people say it's a young. You got some young. We do have some young guys playing, but dang it, we got some old ones that's been in a lot of good games too. And when you look at, I think a guy like Jarrell and some of his teammates that's been out there in the middle of the fire in some big games, they're ready to tee it up.
I'm excited now. Jarrell, talk about the new quarterback, the young guy that's going to be throwing it to you, or at least the guy that's going to get the start. And I know that you do have a very young tailback. They're going to be depending on you a good deal because you're the senior and you're the guy that's going to have to produce.
Oh yeah, of course. Coach Kelly, I know he will give us a chance to go play ball anytime we step on the field. I know he's going to lead us in the right direction with play calling. Whichever quarterback is in there, he's definitely prepared them to step up for the game time, and I think we're going to be all right.
Do you always think you're open?
Definitely, yes, sir.
But he is open a
Not
lot.
all good receivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, boy, dude.
Like, Terrell, you're double, man. Like, Coach,
And if he says he's not open, you don't want him out there. Like a receiver, you want him
right.
saying that. So we've known Jeff a long time, and it is amazing, 10 or 11 years now there. But like, talk about what it is like to be a senior at Saraland, because there is that tradition. There is that it's something that a coach can't come in and demand you be a certain way. They can say, hey, you got to be at practice on time or whatever. But just talk about what it's like to be a senior at Saraland, what it means to you, and kind of the responsibility you feel for it.
Coming up through high school, even from freshman year, has always been a tradition. Like seniors before, always put it on us to work hard, even in the weight room, on the field, give it your all. And now you just try to pass it down to the younger generation. Like just be here. We need you guys to step up this year. Like just come play ball.
Quick thoughts on what you're going to see out of your opponent tonight. Like Dan said, you kind of thinking that it may be crazy to run the ball 47 times tonight. Like,
Coach Collier and his team. The first time we've ever played them was last
Yep.
year, and so got a chance to get to know them a little bit over the last couple of years. Outstanding staff, tremendous effort that their kids play with. They lay it on the line each and every Friday night. You can go back and watch their whole season. They play extremely hard. Got really good players, and they're coached up really, really well. And that's been a trademark of, any team that Coach Collier's run out there. And so it'll be a tremendous challenge. You'll have two really good football teams, two proud programs and proud traditions. What better way to kick the season off?
and just like there's no gimmies, there's no easy weeks. There's no easy weeks on the schedule, right?
Absolutely, no easy, especially this one. But you go through and you work through the off season. And you want to kind of find out early in the season before you get in region play, kind of where you at.
Yep.
And heck, so we want to go find the best team in 7A down here, and they won the region last year, and so let's tee it up and see what happens.
That's why we're here. That's why it's the game of the week, right?
Should be a big crowd in Theodore too.
Oh, we can't wait. We're going to hear Theodore's side of things. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jarrell. We'll see you back for the last segment. I know all summer you've been thinking, geez, do we have to do the last segment? We have to. All right, we'll come back. We'll get Theodore's side of things here tonight. They're the home team taking on Saraland in our first game of the season here on UTV 44. Friday Night Rivals tonight here on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan. Not rivals.
No,
21
no.
years. 21 years, partners.
Dearest of friends.
Saraland, Theodore tonight here on UTV 44. Week 1 to open up the season. We're on the 3rd floor of the AOC building right here on the Beltline. What a great spot to be.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of rehab goes on during the day up here. So thank you again to our friends at AOC for being a part of this. Theodore, always a fun place to go. Head coach Eric Collier with us here. Kirsten Rogers, running back. We'll talk about him. Talk about him a lot tonight. We'll talk to him in a moment. And Coach, you probably just heard what Coach Kelly was saying there. To open up the season, boy, big test for both teams to see kind of where you're at based on the opponent you're going up against to open the season.
Yeah, we had talked a couple years ago, and big thing was, we wanted somebody who was going to give us a match, and we wanted a physical game, and we wanted somebody that was well respected, and that program is. And the thing when you get out of Saraland is they're going to be physical, they're going to have athletes, so they do a great job over there.
Sounds a little bit like what Coach Kelly was describing your team as well.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of come from that era where you're going to run the football, and he has it, but he still runs the football. Don't let him fool you. But again, that's what we wanted. We wanted something to challenge our kids in the off season. And that, believe me, Saraland's a major challenge. And our kids accepted that, and we're looking forward to the ballgame.
Coach, not only did you win the region last year, you kind of rubbed it in. You went undefeated in 7A1, beating all those teams. That's quite a task. You did pretty well in the playoffs as well. So what do you have coming back? Who do you have from that team that you can really lean on? We're going to talk to one man here in just a moment.
We got a lot of kids coming back. We're blessed in that area. That hadn't been that way in the past. Last year we were a pretty young team, but those kids have won since they were 6, 7 years old. and I've kept up with that group. So you kind of time things out.
Yeah, you timed it out good
You
here.
don't want to leave the cupboard bare, but
No.
maybe you don't want to leave it fully stocked either, right?
Exactly right. But again, we've waited on, they're a great group of kids. And the seniors last year were great kids. I tell you, I've been blessed. The thing I love about Theodore is we've got phenomenal young men. And they work their butt off. You never hear them whining. You never hear them griping. It don't matter how hard it is. We're going out and we're going to grind. And that's their mentality. And I'll be honest with you, I think that comes from our community. And I appreciate that. I really identify with that and identify with our kids.
Yeah, we like watching your team play, and we kind of have an idea of what you may do, but there's always a toughness and there's always a commitment to winning the line of scrimmage, and this guy helps.
Well, let me say now, the bunch he's got playing up front are really, really good. And there'll be a major challenge, probably the best defensive line we've seen all year long.
Oh, yeah.
And again, we're looking for, I tell you, Jeff does a good job. His team's always going to be prepared. They're always going to be physical. They're always going to line up right. And I'm being honest with you, he's probably the best play caller we see every year. Jeff does a good job calling plays.
So, Kirsten, yeah, let's. We've seen you in the past. We're looking forward to seeing you here tonight. Kind of, what are your feelings? We're talking about how we're feeling, getting ready for Week 1. Like, what is a guy who knows going to get the ball a ton tonight? What's your feelings getting ready for Week 1?
I feel great. I mean, I'm ready. The team ready. I mean, my offensive line, everybody ready. We're ready to play.
Yeah, you know what to do. It's there may be some wrinkles in there, but you know that there's going to be a lot of power running game. You got a chance to travel with Coach to a number of camps this past season. Talk about where you went and what that experience was like as a rising senior.
Well, it was nice going to the campuses. I've been to Auburn, Mississippi State, Georgia, Southern Miss. I've been to South Alabama. I've been everywhere. It was nice. I mean, like going out there, seeing all the competition, all the other players. It was nice going against, knowing where your talent is at.
That's cool. That's
And
cool.
it's a great thing if you are a special student athlete. If you're a great academic student, you have a chance to go visit multiple great universities or camp. Like, man, as a kid, what a great privilege to be able to do something like that, right?
And, we try to do a lot of that because we want our kids to see what is out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids don't get a chance to get out and see those different campuses and understand that there's a big old, I tell them all the time, there's a big old beautiful world out there, go see it.
You always come back home.
That's exactly right. Come back and give back, like I tell them, Go out and get your degree and get you a good job, and we'll be calling you.
We had one discussion this year, Coach, where you were telling me you just really like coaching in that community. You feel very at home in that community, and there's just a comfort level for you as a coach to coach the kids of the parents that you kind of know, where they're from, what they're about.
Yeah, kind of one of the deals where I think I identify with that community. We're going to show up on time. We're going to work our butt off, and at the end of the day, we're going to have a good time doing it. But the thing I love about Theodore is our parents. I'm being honest with you. You can push our kids as hard as you want to push them, and you're not going to hear parents come up there griping. You're not. And that's all they want.
It's not like that everywhere, Coach.
I've been elsewhere. I've been elsewhere.
Little Johnny was crying.
Quickly, tell us about your coach. Tell us about what it's like playing for Coach Collier.
It's great. I mean, like, he holds you accountable. He don't let you slip. He's great. He's a great man. I love him. My team loves him. The community loves him. We all love him. And he's very well respected. So
We love him too.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that. That's an A+ right there. So
Perfect setup. Good luck out there. Be safe tonight. Stay here, Coach. Last segment coming up as we get ready for the kickoff to open things up here on Friday Night Rivals. It's Theodore and Saraland right here on UTV 44. All right, just about 10 minutes from kickoff here on Friday Night Rivals. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Eric Collier, home team Theodore, Jeff Kelly with the Saraland Spartans traveling down to Theodore tonight. Every week at this time during the show, got a new feature from our friends at Wendy's. We're going to have the Giant of the Week, and that's going to be, I think after however many years, they're just tired of the silly questions that I do at the end. I think that's really why they were just like, okay, can we just stop him? But
that came from like the very top
yes,
of Wendy's.
for
Corporate
sure.
Wendy's
edict came down.
New York in Manhattan.
But until then, so now we're changing the game to end the show, and now it's simply going to be over under. You can bet is a term, but we're just playing along. Disclaimer here, all of our odds for this segment are provided by our friend Banky of the Bahamas Sportsbook, located at the Abaco Beach Resort and Marina. So just so we know.
Somebody may have made that up. I don't know.
Kickoff temperature Friday, 84 degrees. Over or under?
Over.
Over.
I'm going to say we're going to get a little cool. I'm going to say 83. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under.
All right.
36% chance of rain game time on Friday in Theodore during the day. Over or under? Quarter of an inch of rain on Friday.
Under.
Under.
No rain.
Oh. I'm going to take the over just to be that guy. It says here, because I'm a bit of a gambling degenerate. That's not true. Who would bet on NFL preseason football? Who would do that? Saturday, Bears and Bills on the lakefront in Chicago. Over and under 38.5.
Bears. Over.
Total.
Over. Yeah,
Total.
over.
38.5.
Over.
Oh yeah.
Under.
So you think Mitch Trubisky is going to be usual for the Bills and Justin Fields is going to do it for me? Okay. Monday night preseason football. Jacksonville and the Saints. Also 38.5.
Under.
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 Yeah. Saints.
Tebow.
They did cut Tebow.
They're asking for it.
So let's see. First college football season game of the season comes up a week from tomorrow. Nebraska at Illinois. Coach Bielema grew up 12 miles from where I grew up in Illinois. Pig farmer.
Great looking guy.
Yeah. 55.5. The Illini taking on Nebraska. Over.
Under.
Over.
Over. I'm going to say the over is as well. Ole Miss win total this year, 7.5. Over under.
Over.
Big year. Over.
Over.
I like the over there as well. Georgia win total, 10.5.
Yeah.
10 in the hook, Dan Brennan.
They got to prove it to me. So
Trend is your friend.
I'll say under.
Under.
I like Kirby, but under.
Under.
He even whispered it. Kirby, I'm going to say under. Okay, there's a Saturday morning prep sports report is a show on your station, FM Talk 106.5 with Rick Cleveland. Now, sometimes I think the wise guys or the wise guy in the Bahamas, sometimes I think they put up a number that is just a mistake. It's a chance to really win some money. Number of times Rick Cleveland says pal this season. Over under 39 between now and the playoffs on that show.
Easiest bet.
Yeah.
Over.
I listen to it every Saturday. Over.
Yeah.
Triple digits.
I mean, it might be over by week 4.
Yeah. All right, pal.
Speaking of number of times I mentioned, not including this one, Steve Savarese during the high school football season this year is 1.5.
Under.
Over.
I need the backstory.
I would
You don't want
put
the backstory.
mortgage on the under as well.
The backstory's been like a piano on my back for 10 years.
Yes. So anyway, high school football, thanks so much for being good sports to play along here. Thanks to Banky at the Bahamas Sportsbook located at the Abaco Beach Resort and Marina. It's totally that place up. Kickoff comes up. We're about 7 minutes now. High school football, week 1. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan up in the press box here at Theodore. Saraland, Theodore tonight to open things up here on UTV 44. Can't wait. Kickoff comes up in just a few minutes. We'll start the season coming up right after this.